and welcome to another edition of the program Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. My name is Muti Olori. The population of men outnumbers women majoring in most science and technological fields in high institutions. Women make up only 28% of the workforce in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. The gender gaps are particularly high in some of the fastest growing and highest paid jobs of the future, like computer science and engineering. Research has shown that young girls like STEM subjects, but feel that STEM isn't for them due to outdated social stereotypes, cultural and even family limitations. However, recently, there is an encouraging number of participation of women in science and technology, even though it is not enough. The United Nations on 22nd December 2015 decided to establish an annual International Day, that is 11th February of every year, to recognize the critical role women and girls play in science and technology. Though resolutions, but there is lots more to do to bridge the huge gender gap in this science and technology. So on the program today, we'll be discussing the participation of women and girls in science and technology. With me is an educational technologist, electrical electronics engineer, a STEM evangelist. She's the director of Odyssey Educational Foundation with over 10 years experience working with various schools, public and private, in Abuja and Everon. She's a master educator with Techno Vocation, a program that teaches girls to develop mobile apps. Stella Uzochukwu Dennis, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Now, for the sake of our audience, what does STEM mean?
STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We have had various definition of it. A lot of people have put STEAM, having science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Some have STREAM, having science, technology, robotics, and mathematics. So it has been, a lot of, depending on where you're viewing it from, we have a lot of people.
But the major is the science, technology,
engineering, and mathematics.
Why mathematics?
Because I think mathematics is the base for all science, technology, and engineering. You can't do any of those three without mathematics.
But we've heard a lot of girls, women, they seem to love maths, but when you get to a particular situation or level as they go higher, they begin to get scared, and run away from it. Or you find some of them really go through the maths, science, and all those courses in secondary school. But the minute they have to choose what next to do, they chicken out. What is really the fear of this STEM, this science courses for every female?
Well, I know we notice that not even when they get to the university. The number of girls I worked with from the primary school, because I start working with them from primary school, from the primary school to the junior secondary school. When they come back after the junior secondary school to go for the senior secondary school, they feel they don't want to choose a science subject or be in the science class. Basically, I ask most of them why. First of all, most of them say it takes time to read, like engineering or naturally would take 5 years. Meanwhile, any of the social sciences would give you 4 years and you're gone. And then most of them that the cutoff mark too for the JAMB is higher. And so with 180 or 190, you could do well in any of the social sciences. That alone is one of the things that is making them get scared. And we also have a lot of things that distract them at that age. You know, the adolescent age is a time they want to be free, they want to walk. I mean, they just want the freedom. So most of them don't want to sit back to read because, yes, science is simple, but you need some hard work to be able to get there. So they don't want to sit back to do the hard work. They want to social media. They want to do a lot of things that will give them time. So maybe basically because of that, we have a lot of people drifting from the sciences they have loved when they were younger to other subjects that they want to do.
Listening to you now, I saw myself in the picture. I never thought about it like that. But I was a science student all through, and when it was time for me to leave the secondary school, I was like, I'm not a what did I call it? I said I'm not a structured kind of person. I'm a creative person, so I like to think. I like to be creative with my thoughts, in my mind. So I don't see myself sitting in an office doing a 9-to-5 job without having to have my own creative input in it. So that was my reason. I even did mathematics in JAM. So
oh, really?
So that was my reason for leaving sciences.
You're one of our lost candidates, I guess.
But hearing you now, honestly, I even wanted to say, who gave them those thoughts? Who is influencing them to begin to think like that? And that I want to be done in 4 years. I want to finish. I want to go. So these are the limitations that they are having and inhibiting them from wanting to go forward with science. That's huge. But nowadays, science is even creative.
A lot of creativity has come into science. Well, I think when people began to imagine that science shouldn't be something. I'll give you an example. When we're in school, like some of the things too that make people want to choose the arts over science is that we have the drama club. They're always dancing. You see the drum beating. You want to just go join them and dance, and they call it gyration and gyrate, and get away with it. So basically, one of the things that makes these young girls want to pick up this subject is because they think it's a fast one, and it won't want them to take much time. But we thought of it. We said, I wish you came to one of the exhibitions we had last time. It was just about chemistry, and it was just about mixing of colors. And so when you mix the colors and get the hottest color, you see them painting their hand. So it was really interesting for everybody because, of course, that is chemistry. Yes, but they didn't understand it that way. And now we had to put music into sciences, where you can actually listen to a music concert, but it's about teaching you basics of science or technology or engineering, So we had to put
our teachers made it boring and scary.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I have a lady who works with NASA. She said, thanks to her chemistry teacher in the 7th grade, that when she came, she turned around the thought of STEM for her. She made the periodic table more, she made it a game, so they had to play it in class each day, like Scrabble. So it made her begin to love science. So it also about who teaches you what. It really has to do with that. So making science interesting, making technology interesting, making engineering interesting has also made us to be able to bait in and to get in more girls into the field right now.
So how would you say women are faring right now in the STEMs? Worldwide, and then we can narrow it to Nigeria.
Well, I work with over thousands of girls in Abuja and its environs, like you just said. I've seen that I decided to do that because of my own experience, because I knew that in my class of electrical electronics, we were just 3 girls and we had over 100 guys.
Whoa.
In the school.
That's 0.000.
Yeah, so,
wow.
So working with girls.
I'm sure when
right
you
now,
started, it wasn't 3 girls.
No. Okay, no, we started with 3 girls and we ended with 3 girls.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
Awesome.
started with 3 girls and ended with 3 girls. So, but what I'm saying is, right now, I have a lot of girls in the cohort of programs we do. We do a lot of programs. We teach them robotics, artificial intelligence. We have, apart from the mobile app building, we have future city, people who are thinking of building cities in the moon and all that. So what are we saying? Right now, I say that most of the girls we have worked with are more eager to want to continue to do STEM in time to come, because most of them are compulsorily, you must volunteer in the programs that we do. If you have enjoyed it, because totally it's free, so if you come, you must give us back something by coming to volunteer, and we have been having a lot of more girls.
So how do we stir up this interest? Because looking at our curriculum, it has to start from somewhere. Looking at our curriculum and what is obtainable and what you're doing, how do we begin to stir up that interest? Working with teachers, working with the curriculum to see that girls become excited. I've seen where a lot of them get into school, but at the after the first year, they say, "Oh, this is not for me," and they drop off. So how do we begin to change the narrative?
We have issues. I don't know how long it will take to change the Nigerian curriculum, because I tried since I came back. I've been talking to all the people, the stakeholders and all that, but it's looking like it's going to take maybe after my generation for it to come to pass. Yeah. So what we decided to do was to start up an after-school class where we engage some of those girls during after school. And then they also all have clubs and societies in their school. So we also approached the school and told them, oh, this can be a club. And so some of the girls too had enrolled for the club, and during their club and society, instead of them to go just, or maybe then we used to have debates and all that, we now have some STEM clubs that they come for. So basically that's how we have started, because waiting for a change or a curriculum review and all that, it takes several years as far as Nigeria is concerned.
This is pretty scary. It is pretty scary, but I still believe that there's a way out. I'll take a short break. When I come back, we're going to be talking the way out, alternative to this. It's still Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. I'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
There's a wind of change blowing over Nigeria, and it's coming from the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. If you want to find out how TED Fund is bringing the Nigerian government, industry, and the academia together to drive a new knowledge economy, tune in to this station every Wednesday at 8 p.m. for TED Fund, the paradigm shift. It's informative, it's innovative, and it's exciting. TED Fund, the paradigm shift, proudly produced by AD4 TV Radio.
Welcome back. It's still Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio, and we are talking STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. How far have we fared in that industry as female? And my guests, we've been talking about what the problem is, and it takes my mind back to 2014 when I had to take some students to America for a program. It had the medical, they had the science, they had the economics. And one of my girls registered for the engineering. The school said, oh, you're good in engineering, you're good in geography. I think you should go study aeronautic engineering, because there are no female that much in that industry. And we went. On getting there, the kids went to the camp. I got an email from my daughter and said, Mom, please, can we not talk about this issue anymore? I'm not cut out for engineering. I'm cut out for medicine. Now, what made her to chicken out? She got into an environment where people were using Lego and other things for robotics in solving mathematical and scientific problems. And here she is in a group of students who are, I think they call them the junior class then, that what she is doing in senior class, they have done it and they're using other forms of technology in solving problems. And she just told me, we have not started in our country, Nigeria. What can we begin to do differently? The different sectors, what roles do we have to play to see that the future, because that is the future, Nigerian girls are not left behind?
Well, we know there are various stakeholders when we talk about this. Okay, so maybe we'll start with the parents. I think a lot of parents need to know that this is the future. Some of them, when you tell them about coding, about artificial intelligence, I had a parent who had to withdraw her pupil from my center because the girls were coming first before they came, and when they came, their result was second and third. And she said no, she wanted just the first position. So we tried talking to her, but she was not. She was adamant and she left. So the thing is, the skills is where we need to develop the kids, not just about the certificates. So parents should get to know and understand that. Help their children to build the skills that they need to work with other students or be a par with other students outside the country. Like you just gave the example of what some of the girls you took outside, they had to chicken out because, I mean, the skills are not there. And like you said, robotics, you could use robotics to solve just anything. You could use it to do, I think you saw some students the other day using the Lego robot to fold their clothes. I think one of them said they were tired of that when the washing machine finished washing, the heap of clothes are too much for them. And they decided that they should use their Lego to make the Lego robots in the house to fold their clothes, and began to fold their clothes. So, and then the government, which is basically the father of this stakeholder, as far as I'm concerned, should also begin to think about it. All other stakeholders involved, like the Ministry of Education, the UBEB, the SEB, they should begin to think about how we can put this as a compulsory subject or compulsory core subject in the school. And then we also have maybe the teachers. I'm also having issues with the teachers because these skills too, they have not yet developed these skills. They still believe that they are the head of the classroom and they should be seen and not heard. You know, but right now we're talking about educators. We're no more talking about teachers. Educators are just going to be there to channel the education and teach the children what to do. But most times we have project-based learning where the children are just left alone to develop a project concerning the issue. So the teachers, the educators who are going to be transferring this knowledge has to also get the knowledge to be able to teach this our students. So basically, I think these are the things we need to do, but I don't know how to start.
Yeah. We're starting from here. We're starting from somewhere, and we're putting our voice to it. But it just got me thinking. I think we have a mindset problem. How important is STEM? Maybe if people begin to understand how important it is, then maybe they will begin to have a rethink of allowing it beginning from the home and then to the school. Because if I know this knowledge at home, then I won't take my child to a school that won't give the child that knowledge because of the level of awareness I have. So how important is STEM?
To say that STEM is important is an understatement, I must say. STEM is extremely life. I don't know how else to say it, because why I'm saying this is that Nigeria has, I'll give you an example. When I went to India, everybody in my class wanted to do 4 more courses to get this certification, They were just about reading the DOMS, get in the dorms, read them, and then write the certification, and then get the certificate, and then come back to Nigeria and say, oh, I have 4, maybe I have CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, or I have all the certifications you need. That's why, but that is actually learning STEM, but they just wanted to go through the back door, get the certificate, because what matters for us in Nigeria is certificate. So even though that CCNA and CCNP are STEM skills, my brothers and sisters in Nigeria who came with me wanted to just get the certificate, write the exams, get the certificate. They didn't want to learn how to do the networking, the skills that is in it. So let us not just say that STEM is important, because some people will say, okay, if STEM is important, the important thing is I should write the exams and pass. No. STEM for us is, I mean, I want you to learn English. And in the class, we're having, what's the name of this poem? Goodluck and the 3 Bears. And if I'm going to use a STEM approach to teach the children, when I come to the class, I could get cardboard sheets and say, okay, could you make the chairs for Goodluck and the father and the mother? So you see, we begin to put some math concepts in the English class. So the children will make tables and chairs that is big, one is small, one is the smallest. Did you understand? So we now have the math concept. The children begin to distinguish that Goodluck is a baby and should have a smaller chair. The mom is medium size and should have the other chair which is smaller, and then so we begin to
so add, you have dimensions coming in.
So we begin to see dimensions and measurements coming in, even in the English classroom. So that's what we're talking about. That's what STEM is for us. And then when we begin, we don't learn STEM, we don't learn robotics separate, we don't learn coding separate as a separate thing like we're doing it right now. It's supposed to be the core things that should be taught in every classroom. So even if you're doing literature and you have maybe a literature class that has to do with comparison, you should put that with a math concept. You should put that with an engineering concept. So the students are you could use a robotics class to teach a literature, in the sense that maybe we have the coding. You have to code, maybe we got a robot to speak and say those things the literature students used to cram those days, you see. But by the time you begin to type them, begin to add it as a code in the robotics class, you see that even the person who is doing literature now learns how to program a robot. Wow. That is where we should be when it comes to STEM.
But that's not where we are, because we're still doing classroom chalk and paper, teaching 1914 kind of lessons, when the world has gone beyond seeing your teacher to listening to your teacher. Now, we know about the disparity. This we are talking about, we have not even solved boys' problem, then we're talking of girls now. How do we help our girls to bridge the gap between boys and girls when it comes to STEM? Because, from the beginning, we identified certain limitations. The thoughts that, oh, I want to get something done fast. Some might say marriage. When will I finish? When will I get married? When will I start to work? So not knowing that, look, you could actually spend the years, like the 80-20 rules, where you spend more time to achieve this, but at the end of the day, you're making more money because you are limited that will be in that industry. So how do we begin to sensitize and resensitize girls to see that they take pleasure in going for STEM?
Oh, basically, that's what organizations like ours do. We don't have much to do than to just go. We go to government schools every day to talk to them about getting involved in STEM subjects. And then we make an enabling environment where the children actually come, get these Legos, put them together, are able to program the robots and then make them work.
You're still making it sound like man. You're still making it sound strong. How do I get a young girl excited to want to do Lego or technology or science or maths?
Oh, a lot of them want to do that because if you look at the colors in Lego, it's so colorful, and a lot of teams we get each year, because we have a team for each year. As in the robotics competition, we have a team for each year. So we have a lot of things that has to do with them coming up with their own thoughts as girls to put into the program. Like before we come up with the team, we call them, we ask them, what do you think we should have for the team of this year? So you see them getting involved in the things that concerns them. So they come up with a lot of thoughts running around various angles, and then you see them, we ask them, what colors would you want to see? A lot of them say, oh, pink, pink, pink. So you see that most of the time, our maths and our competition, it has to do with a lot of colors, feminine colors that will bring them. And we also have that, we tell a lot of educators, please make your classroom feminine, because we are always asking them, please put this color, because ladies, of course, they like a lot of colorful things. So we ask them to, we even provide posters in their classroom that is so colorful that makes them want to continue to stay.
Any incentive for a girl going into STEM?
We have so much right now. A lot of organizations, internationally especially, have begun to entice them with a lot of benefits, scholarship. Like we have the Society of Women Engineers runs a scholarship for any girl who wants to do any course that has to do with engineering. So you get a lot of almost 100% to school outside the country. We have a lot of, Google is doing so much. We have a lot of programs for young girls that are, who wants to do these programs and are willing, don't have the money to do that. And then why do we as an organization get this funding? We get this funding because we say we are doing these things for young girls. So we get some funding from other organizations. So we have a lot. Right now, in fact, some of the boys will tell me, right now, this is the age to live like a girl. That's what I hear from them, because when I go to their school, they say, Ma, we want this subject we want to join and do. I say, oh no, it's for girls. I say, I think everybody should become a girl. Tomorrow I'm going to put on an earring so that I could just join your class. So basically we have a lot of programs online, offline, hackathons for just girls that will give them maybe some stipend. In fact, I have a lot of girls. Every day they are doing one program because they will get Amazon free card to shop and then get the things. So we have a lot of incentives.
So what are you waiting for to consider and reconsider having your girls in a space where they'll be able to live their dreams and be able to create, to contribute to society? My guest, Stella Uzochukwu Dennis, the STEM ambassador and the woman who brought robotic first into our space. Thank you so much for being my guest. I've learned quite a lot, and I know we're going to have to do quite a lot together to see that we get a lot of young girls into this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Well, tackling some of the challenges of the Sustainable Development Goals, from redefining health to combating climate change, we rely on harnessing all contributions. And this means getting more women working in this field. Let's today remind you that women and girls play a critical role in science and technology communities, and that their participation should strengthen our society and strengthen you to build the future. My name is Muti Olori. I'll be with you again next week with another guest on Total Woman 84 TV Radio. God bless you.